your lymphatic system, you have large organs, tonsil, thymus, and spleen. Just know that I don't want to go individual organs in detail. Just know that these large organs, lymphatic organs, do few things. I have already mentioned they house huge number of what? Lymphocytes. Remember that? The cells. Huge number of lymphocytes. They are heavily packed with lymphocytes. Not only that, they can proliferate or produce new lymphocytes by multiplication. Okay? When your body gets antigen, microorganism, these organs will do what? They already have many lymphocytes inside, right? Already have, but they will also do what? Stimulate the production of new lymphocytes too, more. Okay? So always ready to proliferate lymphocytes. More lymphocytes will be produced inside these organs. Number 3, filtering. Lymph. The fluid that circulates in the lymphatic system, that fluid must pass through these organs. Remember, these are like check stations, checkpoints. Okay? So you have the vessels, like these are the lymphatic vessels, you have lymph organ or lymph node. Lymphatic vessel, lymph node, or lymph organ. Okay? This large lymph organ. So when the lymph, that fluid passes through the vessels at different locations, these organs are working as what? Checkposts, right? Trying to see if there is any microorganism in that fluid. Okay? So we'll filter them, separate them, okay? And then inside these organs you have huge amount of lymphocytes, right? So these organs will separate the antigens, and these lymphocytes will do what? Kill them, destroy them. Make sense? So it is like, if you go to the border, like south border with Mexico, right? Trump is trying to put wall there, right? So why? Because we think that, some bad people may cross the border, right?
So it just works as like a checkpoint to make sure.
Yes,
that's
yes.
all okay.
Make sense? So you will, they do what? The checkpoints, they will stop the people, right? And will check them. And if they think he could be harmful, will not let get in, can destroy. Okay? So, make sense? So it is like that. So in different locations, you have those large organs, and throughout the lymphatic system, you have those tiny, those are called lymph nodes, right? And everywhere, the main things here is they house a lot of lymphocytes inside them. They can proliferate or produce new lymphocytes, right? They filter the lymph, that fluid, to separate the enemies or antigens, and then the lymphocytes will come forward to destroy. Okay? So, just know that that's why we have lymph organs. Here, just know one thing interesting about thymus. You know that thymus is a part or lymph organ that is located here in the upper part of the chest in very early stage of life. If you see an infant, you will find that thymus is almost occupies the whole upper part of the chest thorax. Okay, it is big, and gradually it shrinks, gets smaller, okay, and becomes like this in adults. Now, why in very early stage the thymus is so big? Because you know that our immune system develops slowly, right, in the body. When we get, microorganisms, immune system grows, right? So more you get exposed, immune system gets stronger, right? So in early stage, the immune system is very weak, and that's why thymus needs to work more. Okay, so it is big. Then when our immune system grows in the body, thymus gradually shrinks, gets smaller. Make sense? Less work. So now inside the thymus, a hormone is produced that is called thymoxine. They say thymosin, also called thymoxine. Okay. But thymosin, this hormone train the lymphocytes. What is that? This is another thing interesting you need to know, that I said that lymphocytes are T and B lymphocytes. So lymphocytes, T cells, you remember that, and B cells, right? Why? One type of lymphocytes are T lymphocytes, another type of lymphocytes are B lymphocytes. Because after the lymphocytes are produced in the bone marrow, you probably heard that blood cells come from where? The bone marrow. Blood cells are produced in the bone marrow, okay? If you don't know, just know that. And one type of blood cells are lymphocytes. So lymphocytes come from the bone marrow, and these lymphocytes are naive. They don't know how to fight, okay? So some of these lymphocytes are sent to the thymus. Okay? And some of these new lymphocytes, they don't know yet how to fight, okay? So some of these lymphocytes stay in the bone marrow. So those lymphocytes are sent to the thymus. They learn how to fight in one way. Those lymphocytes remain in the bone marrow and are trained there, get their training there. They learn to fight differently, although they come from same source, okay? But they are learning to fight differently. Is it clear? Like, when young kids, they enter into, military, they are sent to different types of training, right? You learn one things, another people learn another things, right? How to fight. So, exactly same thing. The lymphocytes are sent to the thymus and to the bone marrow. These cells, T cells, mainly learn phagocytosis. So T cells in the thymus, they learn how to do phagocytosis. And this hormone, thymoxine, helps to train these T cells to do phagocytosis. B cells learn different things, different way. B cells are converted to plasma cells that I have already mentioned, plasma cells, and produce antibodies. Okay, so that's how B cells are trained, okay, to produce antibodies. Now, you can fight with your enemy in different ways, right? If you think your enemy is very weak, okay, so you'll let him come close to you, right? Come, I will grab you because I know you are much smaller than me, right? I can grab you and defeat you. Make sense? So T cells are like that. Let the antigens come close, okay? And we'll do phagocytosis, most of the cases, that is otherwise. And B cells, if you think your enemy could be harmful, okay, might have gun or something, then you will not take that chance, right? Risk. So you will shoot him. Make sense? You will not let him come close to you. So, or throw something, right? From far. Make sense? So B lymphocytes do that. B lymphocytes release antibodies. Okay? And antibodies will go to the enemy and will destroy. Okay? So two different ways they learn how to fight. Okay. You say T cells and B cells. Okay, so that is how the immunity works. Now we'll quickly talk about few clinical conditions. The basic important information about immunity-related diseases is 3 ways the diseases can occur. One is, see, if your immune system becomes too active, hyperactive, that is not good, right? It should act normal, right? So that is hypersensitivity, responds too much, more than what we need. Make sense? So if that happens, that causes some clinical conditions. Hypersensitivity, hypersensitive immune system. Is it clear? Responds too much, more than normal. Another is, if the immune system is depressed, that means function is less than what we need. Make sense? Weaker immune system. That causes disease. Make sense? Because it is not strong enough to fight against antigens. So that is another type of immunity-related diseases. Another is autoimmunity. You remember in last class I mentioned that a little bit. Autoimmunity. Your immune system starts to recognize your own or consider your own body cells as enemy, as antigen. It is not supposed to do that, right? Your immune system should not think that your own body cells are its enemy. But if that happens, that is autoimmune diseases. Make sense? So fight against and destroy your own healthy cells. Is that good? If your healthy cells are destroyed by your immune system, not good, right? So that is auto or self-immunity. So those are 3 types of diseases. So one is hyperactive, another is hypoactive or less active, and another is autoimmunity. So those are the 3 causes of different types of diseases, immunity-related diseases. Hypersensitivity occurs due to oversensitivity of your immune system, and it produces overproduction of immunoglobulin. Okay. Now, one type of hypersensitivity, we classify the hypersensitivity of the immune system into 4 different types. Hypersensitivity type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4. Okay. So, type 1 hypersensitivity, what happens, your immunoglobulin, one type of immunoglobulin that stimulates the mast cells or basophil. So mast cells or basophils, when the antibody, this is the antibody, these are antibodies, usually Y-shaped antibodies, like protein. And on the surface of the mast cell or basophil, you have antigen. So this is antigen, this Y-shaped antibody. Okay? So since on the surface of this cell you have antigens, antibodies will get attached to them. That is the nature of antibody. Antibody will bind with antigen, and this is called antigen antibody complex. Antigen antibody complex. Okay? So that when that complex is formed, that binding occurs, that stimulates the mast cell or basophils to release histamine. And you remember I talked about histamine causes vasodilation, right? More blood will go there, right? So we see inflammation. So that's why you see in hypersensitivity, we see skin rashes, right? Inflammation, redness of the skin, itching, those things. Okay, so that is one type. See, overproduction of immunoglobulin E and basophil and mast cells release histamine. And also, I mentioned these chemicals before. They are also responsible for the allergic reaction or inflammation. Okay, that will cause edema, swelling, redness, other problems. Now, sometimes the hypersensitivity could be severe, that can cause even death. Okay, that can cause death. If it is weak, it will go away. You can take antihistamine. We take antihistamine, right? That means that will inactivate the histamine. Antihistamines. That will work pretty good. But sometimes the hypersensitivity could be very fast, even seconds can start, and could be very strong, and that can cause anaphylaxis. Anaphylaxis. Anaphylaxis is a severe hypersensitivity reaction of the body. Okay, severe form of hypersensitivity reaction in your body. And some changes in your body can occur. One is your respiratory tract can squeeze strongly. Okay? Respiratory tract can get blocked by strong constriction. Okay? Then another is strong vasodilation. Blood vessels throughout the body can dilate heavily. Okay? Now remember, if your blood vessels in your body dilate, the blood pressure will do what? Drop suddenly. Just think that this is a narrow tube, blood vessel, okay? If I want to pass blood through it, the pressure on the wall will be more than if it is wide. Make sense? So when the blood vessels dilate everywhere in your body, pressure on the arterial wall or blood vessel wall will drop a lot, okay? So that is hypotension or drop of the blood pressure, okay? cause strong hypotension or decreased blood pressure. Hypo means less. Tension is pressure, you know that. So blood pressure will drop suddenly. And that can cause, if your blood pressure drops suddenly, that can cause unconsciousness and may even anaphylactic shock. Anaphylactic shock. Okay? This is very dangerous if that happens. The person will go to shock and may even die, may not recover, okay, from the shock. So you see that hypersensitivity could be dangerous if anaphylaxis occurs and that becomes anaphylactic shock. Okay, make sense? Now, if you see someone has that immediate quick redness of the body, okay, and dizziness after eating peanut or something, you know, that can cause allergy, that person is allergic to that, you should immediately respond, okay? If you see the body is itching, okay, redness and blood pressure has dropped, that is dangerous. And we give that patient epinephrine. Epinephrine is also called adrenaline. Probably you have heard that. And if you inject that, that will quickly recover that person, okay, from shock or anaphylaxis. So epinephrine is the treatment of that. Okay. So should we stop here? Okay. We will talk a little bit in next class about immunity, then we'll go to next chapter. One thing before we leave, I need to take your attendance, so just wait.